Today we drink Stewart's root beer.
And we talk about football. So, I don't know that I've had a Stewart's. I think I have.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if I have or not.
I have never had Stewart's, so I'm kind of excited about this one because I always like trying something new. So, guys, some people wanted to know some of the history of the company and stuff like that. So, Stewart's was, as it says on the bottle, created in 1924 by a Frank Stewart. He was a school teacher, and to supplement some of his income, he started making root beer in the summer and selling it.
Nice.
From my research, he started out just having a little stand that he sold root beer and popcorn. You know how he raised his sales?
No idea.
Oversalted the popcorn.
He oversalted the popcorn. That's a little...
So it makes you a little more thirsty. You want some popcorn? Sure.
That's clever.
Well, hey, you thirsty?
A little bit of a con, but that's clever.
Whatever. They're still standing today. So today it is owned by Dr. Pepper Snapple Company and distributed pretty much nationwide. So I'm interested in trying this. I mean, it's got a lot of history to it. So.
All right. Well, it's definitely got some head on it. Like, when you pour that puppy up, like,
yeah,
you know, that's one bottle and a little bit of a second bottle, and that's like half head right there. So
yeah. So some nutritional facts. One bottle contains 150 calories, 0 total fats. Sodium has 70 mgs. Total carbohydrates is 38 Gs. Sugar is 38 Gs. So that's actually not too bad because most of the time it's rated in the 40s.
yeah, so like having one of these with a meal is totally okay because 150 calories, you know, if you split your 2,000 calorie diet up into 3 meals, you know, like, and then you split that meal up into how many calories you get for your drink and how many calories you get, yeah, you can totally do this. This is not a
And
bad
that
thing.
head's still staying on there.
It says made with real sugar, so that's pretty cool. I think that has anything to do with
Do the mustache.
wait, I got yeah,
Salud.
Yeah, salud. Yeah.
So I've heard a lot about this root beer. A lot of people I've done some research, you know, investigating it. It's one of those brands that always sat on the shelf, but like, I guess because I didn't know anything about it, I never tried it.
It's not nearly as sharp as like or syrupy as like mug or something like that.
Yeah. To me, it's a good strong, your typical strong like root beer taste.
Yeah.
But it does have a little bit more to it. I think it might be that is it cane sugar?
Yeah, it's the cane sugar. It says cold brewed draft. So I guess that, you know, means there's no heat involved in the process of steeping it and doing all that, which I guess should take a lot longer. Like that must also mean it
Yeah, I definitely
would be a slower process. Bottle's got some great artwork. Mm-hmm. What were you gonna say?
Just that this one seems to be a little smoother. Like whenever I drink
Yeah,
it doesn't seem
definitely.
like it's as weighty. You know, like you said, less syrupy. Seems like it has a much pure, clean taste to it. I like it. I really didn't see anything where it like changed recipes or, you know, there was any formula changed over the years. So I'm assuming that it's made the same today as it was. It has changed a lot of hands as far as the company, but I don't know. It's doing well enough to where there's still, I mean, there's restaurants that are Stewart's restaurants. They're just more of the northeast area.
It's got a good caramel kind of a look to it in the glass, and yeah, kind of that, not quite buttery, but almost kind of a buttery kind of a feel to it a little bit. I
don't feel any like layers, but it's just one good, clean, solid taste. And it doesn't seem like it, to me, it doesn't, I don't feel it change at all. You know, not that that's a bad thing. It's just a good taste.
Right.
But there's no bad aftertaste. It's just a smooth.
Yeah, and it hasn't, like you said, it doesn't change at all. Like, it hasn't changed from the beginning, you know, putting it in the mug to the end of it, like, you know, slowly kind of warming up. that hasn't changed the flavor at all, and that's really good. Now, so why do you use frosted mugs? Like, what's the logic behind that? Not putting ice in it?
Yes. I mean, that is one. Whenever, one of it is that when you put it in the ice waters it down, so it dilutes the flavor a lot. Mm-hmm. And I have definitely noticed that over the years of drinking it. So if you frosted the mugs correctly and let them stay in overnight, mm-hmm. it tends to ice up even inside, but it's just out of root beer. It's ice made out of root beer.
Right. Yeah, like the froth makes ice and stuff like that around the rim, which is a fun experience anyway. So I'm, putting down my stuff here. On there we've got Stewart's. And I started way too high, I realized, on the first root beer that we did.
You think so?
I think so. I didn't kind of start closer to the middle, which on your first thing, when you're judging a lot of things like we're going to do over the year, you really should start closer to the middle. But the nice thing is that our final score was 13 and a half out of 20.
Right.
So even though I felt like I scored a little high, there's that huge gap between 13 and a half and 20 that still has to be made up. We've got plenty of time to do that with other root beers. So
yeah, I do like our scoring system in that I could give it a perfect 10 because I like it. But it is also, it's a mutual thing of which root beer will actually have the best taste and also the best float, which is kind of unique because it's not just about just the taste. I could score high on the taste side of it because on its own it tastes really good, but as a float it kind of loses some of its body or some of its flavor or some of just something that makes it that that unique taste, for lack of a better way to explain that. But I have had a root beer where I did not like it at all. I did not like the flavor.
You didn't like
all.
anything about it?
It was horrible.
Wow.
But as soon as I put it in the ice cream, it was the best thing I've ever had.
Weird. It's weird how that works, but it totally does.
And it almost made me appreciate the original taste whenever I went back and because I bought a 4-pack, so the first one I didn't like. But after I made the float, it kind of, after I had the other 3, it at least gave me an understanding of what made it a good, a decent root beer and why other people did enjoy it.
Cool.
So anyway, I think I am ready to score.
All right. I'm good, man.
All right.
On to the root beer float.
Let's float.
All
right.
I feel like you were really generous with the ice cream on me, man. Thank you.
I'm just a generous guy.
All right. So now to see what happens, right? We've got
see how it is.
A lot ahead on the normal root beer.
Yeah.
What's it going to do with ice cream?
I'm sure give quite a bit more.
And just to state one more time, we are not sponsored by Stewart's or Bluebell for this episode. But we would love to be sponsored by Bluebell.
Right.
So Bluebell, please call us.
Yeah, if you're from Texas, you definitely know Bluebell, and you know that's the only ice cream to float with. So
look at that.
I like how blonde it is.
I know, right? That's just pretty. And I like the foam looks like it's crystallizing.
Right.
And you know that crunchy kind of crystallization that happens on top of the ice cream when the foam is cold enough and it just kind of and the ice cream's cold enough and you get that root beer crunch kind of float. I really like that a lot.
So do you have any good football stories?
Well, I never played football on a team.
Right.
Not when I was younger or anything like that, but I definitely played a lot of football with my friends, and it was one of those things where your mom and dad would tell you, no tackle.
Yeah. Backyard football.
Yeah, backyard football. But you would always start out, okay, guys, we're playing 2-hand touch, and it's well, is it 2 below? Yeah, let's play 2 below. And then you'd be let's just 2 anywhere, because 2 below is just everybody's falling down and nobody's you're getting kicked in the face. Right. And you're trying to reach while someone's running.
And grabbing some guy's butt. And
yeah, and so
never pleasant.
No, and so 10 minutes into it, you're playing tackle, and that's just the way it goes.
It's full contact 2 below.
Absolutely. You're trying. You try to go 2 below, but it's tackle. I have had some recent experience playing some flag football, and as a full-grown man, like I like that because I don't really care to break my collarbone. Don't really care to, like kill myself, hitting somebody head on, getting concussions, that kind of stuff. And outfoxing somebody is definitely something I enjoy doing if you can do it. So flag football has definitely grown. I used to think it was kind of a sissy game whenever I was a kid, especially whenever we were playing that tackle, non-tackle, tackle football.
Right.
But yeah, I like it.
There's definitely especially now. Because men tackling one another without the pads on is just a recipe for disaster. I still like it. It does, deep down.
It's nice.
It's fun, but at the same time, I understand what you're saying because you do walk away pretty sore, pretty torn up. And where I work, it's pretty physical. So I would much rather go and do my job without having to have all those aches and pains from just being tackled with some guy.
Yeah, definitely.
And not get paid for it, So yeah, I understand the flag football. So yeah, I definitely had an experience playing backyard football on a field day.
Okay.
And you were there, but I don't think you were playing. Because,
Probably not.
the park was, we used to go to have a field day in a park.
Yep.
And the park was basically in your backyard.
Basically,
Which I was very envious of because I'm like a kid who grows up with the park in the backyard. It's just freaking amazing. He hasn't made
it. Was pretty close to us, like literally backed up right against my parents' property.
So anyway, we were having a field day and we had our two teams. I think it was 14 or 15, something like that.
Yeah.
And so we had a good solid game going. Of course, this is it was supposed to be 2 below, but it was full on we drag everybody down, like you said. So we had this guy who had never played with us before. I don't even know if he was a part of the program or if he was just a guy that was there at the park and wanted to play because he saw a group of guys playing football. However, it was
that's number 2.
He joined in. So we're playing, and this dude was kind of, you could tell he worked out. He was much more muscular than most of the kids that were out there on the field. So we were all having a hard time taking him down.
It wasn't my brother, was it?
No, this dude had long hair, ponytail.
Yeah.
And he seemed like a cool dude. But anyway, so my older brother and I were on the same team.
Okay.
And we had been losing to this. The other team just kept on throwing to this guy, and he would always score because nobody could take him down. I was getting fed up with it, and I'm like, I'm taking this guy down. I am taking this guy down no matter what.
Go, David.
So this play goes out. He gets the ball, of course, and I just start running full on after him. My brother, full on after him. My older brother is about 5 years older than me. We start running, and we're running headlong for this guy.
Okay.
But we're running towards one another. And I dive down, and I'm just going to wrap my arms around this guy. I get him, and the next thing I know, I'm out. I didn't feel a thing.
Black.
I just black. The next thing that I know, I'm laying on my back. People are standing on top of me going, oh, my God, look at that. So I don't know if you can tell because it's still there, but right there.
Oh, yeah.
That bump.
Yeah, it kind of comes off that way.
This eyebrow, people think that I'm always mad.
Because you've got that one...
looking down, It's not. It's actually that I still have probably a cracked skull. And I have this tissue that's still there to this day from colliding into my older brother's head. Now,
Dude.
He didn't know anything because it hit him right here on the hardest part of his head. Mm-hmm. Of course, it hits me there. I black out. People are sitting on top of me. I'm told I need to go off, walk it off. And so I go off the field and get some ice on it and stuff. My dad happens to be there rather than my mom. Had my mom been there, probably would have gone to the hospital because that's what moms do. Mom nurtures the kids. Yeah. And when the kids are injured and there's this huge knot on the forehead, she knows something's wrong. And that if she hears the story that there was a concussion, basically complete blackness, she's gonna take you to the hospital. Mm-hmm. But Dad, he goes, looks like he shoved a goose egg up your nose. and then that's it. People tell me to just put some ice on it and sit on the bench for a little bit. So I did. Of course, the girls come around. They're all like, "Oh, feeling so bad for you and everything." I'm eating that up, but then I have to prove myself to be a man, you know. So I get back out on the field.
You gotta get a go. Yeah, you gotta go.
Gotta get back out.
Gotta get out there. Can't let it beat you.
Absolutely.
What'd your brother say? What exactly did you hit? Did you hit his head?
Yeah, I hit his forehead right there.
Right there.
Right there. I mean, that's where people like break the boards and stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. It's right there. You gotta hit it there. and that's what I collided with, but it just hit the soccer part.
And probably hit the socket, that ridge bone of your...
I'm pretty sure it's cracked. I have no idea. He's just an older brother. He just laughs at me.
Oh, man. I've never broken a bone. Never had an experience where I blacked out because of playing a game. But
I've had plenty of blackouts, but never broken a bone.
Yeah, football, man. There's so much food related to football.
Right.
You know, or watching it anyway. You eat too much food when you play it, and you're just asking for hurling. But there was one Super Bowl.
But that's the thing to do after Thanksgiving.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, you eat a whole massive amount of food. What are you supposed to do? Go play football.
Yeah, put that chili in your belly and go run a couple hours straight. Yeah, I definitely have a favorite memory of Super Bowl food. And it was I was probably like 9 years old, somewhere in there. And we were at a friend's house. And my parents didn't really celebrate Super Bowls like everybody else. They weren't really into football as much as everyone else seemed to be. So they never had a Super Bowl party at the house. So I never experienced, seriously, I was 9 years old when I remember experiencing this amazing Super Bowl food. And I don't even know what they call it, but it's like that Chex Mix. That's white powdered and covered, and I think they call it trash or something like that. I don't know. I think they call it Texas trash down here.
White trash.
Yeah.
Powdery white.
Powdery white. And the house we were at was a 2-story, and the living room had a balcony above it, so you could look down into the living room where the TV was from the balcony. So the kids were upstairs, in the balcony area. The parents were downstairs. It was the perfect arrangement because you could eat whatever crap you wanted to, whatever junk food you could steal away from the downstairs table and sneak up there.
Oh, yeah,
somebody had brought the whole bowl of that stuff up there, and I literally sat looking through the rails of the balcony at the game going on down below on the TV, just handfuls of this stuff at a time. It was heaven. And I'm sure that I was very, very tired by the end of the day and very ready to sleep. But it's one of those memories. I'm 30 years old and I still remember the first time I ever got to experience that kind of Super Bowl food. It was magical. So, how's your float doing, man?
It's good. I'm ready to score.
Ready to score?
Yep.
Let's do it.
So for taste,
I had to do... I'm fighting against my first stuff a little bit. So I was like, I think it's better as a root beer by itself than mug that we had in the first episode. But I don't think it's at that, wow, this is amazing stage yet. So I just rated it, and I kind of cheated. We were only going to do 0.5s, but I kind of rated it at a 3.75.
Well, it's only fitting that the one who came up with the 0.5 would actually break the 0.5.
Hey, I'm the one who messed up. I didn't want to give it a 4.
No, it's fine. Whatever.
3.75 is what I gave it. So 3 and 3/4 on taste.
Well, then we're very close because I'm at 3.5.
All right, cool. And then what about float for you?
Float, actually, I like it better as a standalone root beer than mixed with the float.
Yeah.
I think because it's so smooth, it loses some of the flavor in the float. So I actually rated it as a 2.5.
Yeah, and I went down to a 3 on there. So
my overall is 6 points.
My overall is 6.75 points, totaling 12.75 for the both of us.
So really just under the last, so.
It's kind of odd, isn't it? How, the root beer itself tasted one way and the root beer and the float didn't taste quite as good.
Yeah.
It's strange to me that it could be so different of an experience. But that's what Roots and Fizz is all about. So It is what it is. All right, guys, that's enough for this episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and enjoying a root beer. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification symbol to be notified when we upload new videos.
Yep, we should have another one up in about 2 weeks, so look forward to seeing you then. Until then, growing your roots.
Keep some fizz in your mug.
What I like,
Just like dig it out, David.
what I liked about
Touching it with your fingers, man.
do you mind fingers? I haven't done anything weird with my fingers.
Oh my gosh. I'm really sad to say that doesn't really give me a lot of hope, David. I think that makes it worse. I think saying something about it makes it worse.